6 thinking hats. Key point 1. Thinking is our most precious resource, so we should learn to use it efficiently. De Bono revolutionized the way we think by introducing the concept of the 6 hats method. Researchers from IMB laboratories, teachers, jurors, and world-famous companies such as Siemens utilize the technique in the working process. All claim that 6 hats make whatever they are doing astonishingly efficient. The meetings take less time, and the decision-making has become more manageable. Efficiently skyrockets with the 6 hats method. Thinking is a skill, and we can't master it completely. There's no limit to learning. While improving and utilizing this skill, however, we encounter a big issue: confusion. Thinking comes in different colors. Logic, emotions, creativity, and facts influence it. The vibrancy can feel overwhelming, and here's where the 6 hats come into play. This method makes your thoughts more organized by dividing them into 6 types. Typical Western thinking mainly relies on 3 things: argument, categorization, searching for the ultimate truth. De Bono proposes parallel sensitization that accounts for various possible truths. This method focuses on what can be, not only what is. Thinking based on the argument is not sufficient for an ever-changing world. Parallel thinking presupposes looking at a given subject from all possible perspectives. While disagreements dictate that only one opinion can be right, 6 hats allow various correct viewpoints. The directions parallel thinking can take are defined by different hats, each with unique characteristics. There are various ways to use hats. Single use is helpful when we want to engage in a particular thinking style. We can also use hats in sequence, either by evolving one or a preset one. In practice, one of the most striking things about the use of the 6 hats method is that decisions seem to make themselves. The white hat. Objectivity and neutrality sprinkled with facts and figures. The white hat deals with information stripped of any interpretation or opinion. While wearing this hat, we don't use the information to prove a point or convince someone that we're right. If some pieces of information contradict each other, we view them congruently. We choose one of them only if necessary. During the white hat stage, we also determine which information we lack and establish means of obtaining it. White hat is about parallel thinking and accepting different perspectives. We often accept a belief for a fact. It's natural. We can't check every statement in the world. Thus, we can distinguish 2 types of information that we can share under the white hat: believed facts and checked facts. Pure facts are irreplaceable for our thinking processes, but so are hypothetical and provocative statements. How can we prevent the potential damage from unreasonable beliefs? It all comes down to how we use the information. If we use some believed facts as the basis for our decision-making, we must check them. De Bono uses the style of the Japanese meetings as an example of white hat usage. Unlike Western meetings, where people come with ready-made ideas and aim to prove their plan is the best, Japanese-style meetings allow their attendees to create visions based on the information they share. This non-argument-based flow is more efficient because all participants work towards achieving one shared goal. There's no need to prove whether you're right or wrong. it takes much less time to create a shared idea than to argue whose idea is the best. When wearing a white hat, accept the role of a computer. You must be direct and clear. You can't let your opinion cloud your delivery. The goal is information. You can't add either interpretation or extrapolation. The volume of facts can be overwhelming, so the person asking for information must be specific about what they need. The white hat gives us direction and makes us more disciplined, teaching us how to approach a subject with utmost objectivity. The red hat allows our feelings and emotions to run free with no justification or explanation required. Generally, we are discouraged from expressing feelings in a formal setting. During a business meeting, we must be reserved and keep our emotions under control. That's why the red hat is so unique. It gives a rare opportunity to voice feelings and make them worthwhile. The range of sentiments expressed varies from excitement to doubt to anger. The red hat is an individual matter. During a meeting, each participant is encouraged to share their feelings. If we ignore our emotions, they won't disappear, but will lurk in the background and influence our decision-making. Our emotions are intrinsic to our thinking. They give important context for our decisions. Emotions create our mental background, and it's essential to understand it. For example, if we dislike someone, we might reject their ideas and think they have malicious intentions. Expressing these feelings might make us see the picture more clearly. It might also change our opinion or make us more ready to accept decisions even if we have bad feelings about them. Besides, our emotions can come in handy when choosing the final route in the idea creation process. Feelings and values are connected, and we frequently make decisions based on what we hold precious. Decisions based on feelings are not necessarily bad, but it's important to understand the basis of our ideas. Why is the red hat so effective? It creates an artificial environment where we can address feelings directly and immediately. Typically, feelings take some time to form. They take even longer to resolve. Because of the playful and conversational nature of the hat method, emotions expressed while wearing a hat feel less dramatic and personal. When we acknowledge our emotions, we can explore them, which is a great exercise. Thinking can change emotions. It's not a matter of logic, but perception. When we observe the situation from different angles, our feelings can modify. Once we understand our emotional background, we can adopt a different one to see how its influence changes. The black hat, cautious search for flaws. The black hat is essential for our survival. It points to danger and stops us from making mistakes. It teaches us what things we should avoid and what scenarios will lead us to failure. Discrepancies between patterns and contradictions are foundational for argumentative thinking. The first lesson in caution, however, concerns the usage of this hat. Being too careful will bring little success. The good news is there are time limitations in the 6 hats strategy. We wouldn't survive if we weren't aware of possible danger that await us. The black hat is irreplaceable, but we should use it in moderation. The black hat needs logic to operate. Without it, there can be no constructive criticism. The aim of using the black hat is not to determine what will work out and what won't. While wearing this hat, we also look for potential faults and failures. Fixing those flaws can even turn them into advantages. Though the black hat relies on logic, it also accepts uncertainty. It deals with likelihood and possibilities, not with results set in stone. The black hat focuses on the future. However, to determine risks, consider past experiences to predict possible outcomes. Understand which past experiences are relevant and applicable to the given situation. We should avoid abusing the black hat. It's quite easy to criticize almost anything, but the key is to be constructive. The efficiency of the black hat depends on whether we abstain from abusing it. The black hat thinking considers many variables the idea has to fit: values and ethics, policies, and strategies. It takes into consideration the resources available. The black hat determines whether the suggestion is safe and establishes potential weaknesses to overcome. This hat should never turn into an argument because it contradicts all values of the six hats method. It shouldn't be the only mode of thinking. Hats of other colors have to precede and follow it. Did you know? A researcher from a top IBM laboratory told Edward de Bono that the six hats method had reduced meeting times to 1/4 of what they had been. The yellow hat, optimism and positive thinking. Our brains are more accustomed to dealing with negativity, so the yellow hat is more challenging to wear than the black one. While it's essential to consider the possible dangers, it's just as vital to look on the bright side and think about the benefits an idea can bring. Edward de Bono encourages the development of value sensitivity, which means being aware of the advantages and disadvantages. We frequently disregard our ideas because we don't see value in them. The yellow hat inspires us to search for the benefits of any concept. Being positive is a choice. The yellow hat is speculative because it deals with potential benefits that can only appear in the future. We determine whether we want to do something based on the idea's worth. While there are a few people for whom positive thinking is second nature, the yellow hat helps those leaning toward negativity. It's also important to remember that finding benefits in an idea is not always possible. Positivity is a spectrum, and there's such a thing as being positive to a fault. But optimism should generally have some degree of logical grounding because ideas that seem impossible at first glance can become successful with a bit of positive thinking. The yellow hat is speculative. Its primary focus is on the what-ifs. We shouldn't confuse the yellow hat with the red. If the positives of an idea depend on intuition alone, they belong to the emotional stage. The yellow hat accounts for justification, not characteristic of the red hat. Thinking here depends on past experiences, guesses, trends, and logical assumptions. This hat is the first exploration stage. We see the possibility and work towards it after assessing the benefits and justifying that our plan will work out. It shouldn't be confused with the green one. A person can see huge positives, but lack creativity. The yellow hat is not focused on novelty, but rather on efficiency. Its constructive nature aims to generate ideas that are sure to work. The green hat, vibrant creativity and dynamic growth. The green hat is all about improving suggestions in obvious and fresh ways. The material of this hat consists of creativity. During the green stage, we aim to produce new ideas or keep quiet. And since people don't like staying silent, they do their best to contribute. Creativity and invention go hand in hand. While wearing this hat, we go beyond the known and the obvious. Judgment is not necessary at this stage. What matters here is movement and bouncing ideas off each other. When we judge an idea, we usually compare it with others and past experiences. The green hat encourages us to look forward, not backward. This method is the essence of movement. We consider where the idea might take us if we decide to work with it. We can move forward with a plan or from it, either adopting the initial suggestion and improving on it, or using it as an inspiration for future endeavors. While wearing the green hat, we consider the novelty of an idea and how it differs from others. Movement drives the creative process. Edward de Bono coined the term provocative operation to describe an idea we use for its provoking value. No matter how bizarre they might seem, we can't shut down any new suggestions during the green hat session. Even the most ludicrous thoughts can be stepping stones to creating success. If they are provocative, they'll get the creative process going. Such ideas don't belong to usual patterns because they can't exist as far as our knowledge goes. Breaking habits are intrinsic to novelty. The bizarre suggestions may lead us nowhere or return us to our old ways, but they can also bring about a fresh outlook and consequent innovation. An excellent technique for dealing with provocative operations is using reversal. To do this, we take a well-known pattern and turn it inside out. For example, customers are usually the ones who pay in the store, right? What if the store paid customers? This way of thinking may lead to creating a plan when a store offers rewards for regulars or gives prizes for purchasing costly goods. That's how we design an unusual marketing strategy that can attract more clients. The blue hat controls, oversees, and organizes the thinking process. The blue hat is in charge of the organization. It's like a conductor overlooking all other types of thinking, managing all ideas created, organizing them, and establishing how to use them. It's great to use it as a frame. First, we put it on at the beginning of the thinking session to determine its purpose and define the direction we want to pursue. Then, after utilizing all other hats, we wear the blue hat again to make sure of everything we've constructed and put on the finishing touches. The blue hat is concerned with conclusions and results. The blue hat creates a dancing routine with definite steps that help us stay focused. Our brains turn into computers when the blue stage begins. We remain calm and program our course of action. The usual thinking is frequently chaotic. Information mixes with emotion, and positives are under the constant pressure of negatives. The Western way of thought usually encourages one to enter a meeting with ideas already formed. We are concerned with justification during the discussion, proving our suggestions correct. This way takes away exploration and hinders the creation of new ideas. The blue hat provides a structure that resolves the chaos. It creates a plan for each stage, maximizing the efficiency of the discussion. The blue hat also supplies focus. It determines the points of concentration and controls the situation, so we avoid distractions and stay focused on our initial aims. If we continue the computer metaphor, the blue hat creates something akin to software. The program varies depending on the situation. There's no universal structure applicable to all types of thinking processes. The order of the hats is flexible, and we don't even have to use every hat every time. We don't have to utilize the blue hat just for framing. We can also put it between the other hats to make smaller conclusions. The blue hat is the one that holds control, ensuring that we follow all the rules of the thinking game and provides us with discipline. Conclusion. The main difficulty in the thinking process is the confusion and complexity that comes with it. The 6 hats method is a magical solution that is simple to comprehend and even easier to use. We can apply it in any setting when thinking feels too haphazard. In a business meeting, a classroom, during a project, brainstorming, and on our own. Each hat is unique in its function and simple to remember because the association between color and hat usage is sufficiently intuitive. It's important to stay disciplined and follow the rules of the hat that is in charge. For example, no irrational emotions should appear during the blue hat session. No fears or negativity should resurface when it's time for a white hat. Structure makes the thought process much easier, taking away the usual chaos. The 6 hats method expands the mind, breaking away from typical patterns. If a person is used to negativity, it'll be challenging for them to see benefits in a given idea. While dealing with the yellow hat, the person will have no choice but to look on the bright side, which can lead to important discoveries. Try this. Do you have a problem on your mind for too long and can't bring yourself to deal with it? Consider trying out the 6 hats method to find solutions. Choose the hats you want to try out. You don't have to wear all hats, but you should remember the discipline and structure that comes with them.